welcome back. We are here now at the 2.5 episode introduction, the Console Wars Player 2. So our first video content that we did was episode 1.5, where we talked about the Midnight at GameStop episode with another creator. And this time we're going to be talking about our episode 2, the Console Wars, with another creator as well. Their experience of the Console Wars, their opinions, their favorites, things like that. We'll also probably get into a little bit of the Dragon Ball event just to get their feedback. Today's going to be meeting with the Gaming Caffe. So on TikTok, we'll get the plugs and everything necessary so you know where to go follow and subscribe to them and everything like that. And we're going to be getting into all things related to the Console Wars, the PS2 era, the 360 era, etc. So all of those things, just going to go through, ask some questions. Thank you for being here. And let's go ahead and just jump right into the episode 2.5, the Console Wars Player 2. Hello and good evening. We are back here at the Midnight Release. As the little intro that I recorded a minute ago said, we are on episode 2.5. So this is a revisit of the Console Wars Player 2. And tonight we are joined, or today, depending on when you're watching this, we are joined by Morgan with the Gaming Caffe. We're going to be going through some topics as it relates to our episode on the Console Wars. Going to get into a couple other little things too, but we're going to go through, ask some questions, chat, kind of the general discussion like we normally do. But instead of me yakking, let me go ahead and hand it over to Morgan to kind of run through introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what you like, all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I've been, lifelong gamer. About 20 years at this point. Yeah, you know what? This year will be about 20 years.
20-year birthday of gaming.
That's right. My years of gaming can almost drink.
There you go.
But I work a 9 to 5. I do GL accounting. I work from home, so luckily that makes it a little easier for me to game more than most people. But as we all know, you start adulting. It's not even just work. It's doing the laundry. It's cleaning. It's
all of the things. I know.
Exactly. The grocery shopping. And before you know it, you're like, oh, I've got half an hour left. And I don't even have kids. So for people out, the people who manage to play games who all have all of that plus kids, I commend you.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole other ball game. That's for sure.
Yeah, it really is. And then in terms of games, dude, honestly, if it's fun, I'll play it. If it looks fun, I'll try it. I am open to anything. There are games I know I don't like. Minecraft, I've tried 10 different times.
Dude, same.
Can't get into it. Survival game, like strictly survival games, typically not my thing. I think when it comes to what I like to see some sort of payoff or progression for a lot of time. And in those types of games, you can spend a lot of time and not accomplish a whole lot. So I think that's where the disconnect comes.
Yeah, I think some of them do it pretty well, and I do enjoy some of them. Like, I played the crap out of Valheim, really liked it, but it had a very obvious level of kind of progression. But there's some of them that the grind is just too hard, and I just can't do it. I tried Ark several times, couldn't do it, and then I'm with you on Minecraft. I've tried it 100 times.
Yep. I just, like, I know people love it, and it's a good game. It's just not for me. But everything else, dude, I love it all. I can't help but be excited because I remember what it was like. Like, my first console was a Game Boy SP, the little blue square.
The perfect Game Boy, yes.
Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Played Pokemon and a few other games. And now thinking back to that, or playing Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal on the PS2 with no memory card. So I had to restart every single day and see how far.
Man.
We have it so good now.
We do. We're spoiled.
Like, yeah, people forget that. Like, oh my God, it's not running at a perfect 200 frames. Like, listen, relax.
Yeah,
it's all right.
That argument stresses me out all the time.
Yeah.
Well, before we jump into any questions around the kind of the console wars and things like that, I gotta ask you: did you watch any of the Dragon Ball event from last night?
Not live, but I have seen information and like clips on it, so I'm aware of a lot of what they announced.
Man, that's the main reason I decided to sport my Gogeta hoodie again tonight, because I wore it last night. Was the fact that they've got the Galactic Patrol arc confirmed, so we got Moro coming, which is insane. And then,
it's going to be incredible. I didn't read it, but I've watched like video breakdowns and showing the panels, holy, it's gonna be so good. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and actually, I did not even think about that when we were just talking about this a little bit. I didn't actually read it, I should say. I found a guy on YouTube who went through all of the pages and read it. And that's how I consumed the manga because I don't read a whole lot.
Yep.
But the whole thing about that was insane, and then the Sparking DLC that they announced. Like, I know a lot of people were super salty when Sparking came out that it didn't have Super 17. I don't know why everyone latched on to Super 17. He's awesome, don't get me wrong, but now
Yeah.
that was announced. So
Yeah, it's weird. You know, I get it. Full price game these days, you want all the characters. We all kind of dislike, microtransactions and DLC that's planned from the get go. It's like, oh, well, that should be in the game.
exactly,
Right? I get it. But like Super 17, if they didn't include like Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, I would have understood. But y'all are stressing about Super 17, really?
Exactly.
I slept just as soundly if he was in the game, whether he wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, it was one of those when I saw it. I was like, well, that's fan service, but that's okay. Super 17's outstanding, and they got the other character, Super Saiyan Bardock and stuff like that. But the that Age 1000 game, I am very, very interested to see more about it because I have no idea kind of what their plan is. But this fact of it looking like it's just within the universe of Dragon Ball, but like in the future kind of thing.
It almost seems like they're gonna fully embrace what Xenoverse 2 built. The whole like custom character, you're bouncing between points and locations in Dragon Ball, but you're not necessarily directly connected with the characters. Kind of seems like they're leaning 100% into that.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're gonna do like a whole little universe around the idea of what Dragon Ball set up, but we're gonna go crazy with it. So
yeah, and I will say the fact Toriyama was, and they said they've been working on it 5-6 years or 6 or 7 years, and Toriyama designed everything. So it's just one other way that he's like giving us some love from the grave, right, as morbid as it sounds, But then the other big announcement was the Super remake. So now they've got, and that's the one thing with a confirmed date: fall of 26, Dragon Ball Super Beerus. The animation looks really, really good. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't think it's really necessary to do a remake of Super.
Definitely not.
But since I didn't read the manga except for listening to the Moro and the Granola arc, I guess there's a whole lot of stuff in the manga that is not in the anime itself. But apparently in this teaser, there were some stills that looked to be dripped from the manga. So I guess they're going to try and adapt Super to be more in line, which, like you just said, with some of those pages in the Moro arc, if they're going to pull some of that out, it's going to be so brutal. Yeah. It's going to be so brutal.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot with. I see pages. There's a guy on TikTok that I watch, and he breaks down like new manga pages and reads through them and then explains them. And I'm like, oh my God, if they animated this, it would be insane. And so I feel like that's kind of what they're leaning into is, hey, it's been years since we started Super. Animators have gotten better. We have new techniques. Let's flex a little bit, get everyone reacquainted with the story, and then Moro arc is going to go insane.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, I think that it's very reminiscent of, like, if they do what I'm thinking, where we've got Dragon Ball Super Beerus redoing Battle of Gods, and then they keep doing that, for the sole purpose of leading up to the Moro arc. It's super reminiscent of OG Dragon Ball, or Dragon Ball Z, when we watch the Frieza saga, and then we see the preview for the Mysterious Youth when Trunks shows up, but they didn't have it dubbed, so it had to start all the way back over. So we had to watch it all again. It reminds me of that, kind of, which I'm kind of cool with, because it's new Dragon Ball content. I really don't care either way.
Right.
So I'm fired up.
It's going to be fun either way. That's how I feel about something like Star Wars.
Oh.
Like, new games, new shows. I'm like, listen, do they have their issues? Sure. Am I always excited? Yes.
Yep.
It's one of those things, like, I don't care. It's going to be awesome, because it's just, I don't know, maybe it's a bit of nostalgia, or just when it comes to media, whether it be like movies, games, and this is something that I've come to realize, is I look for something outside of the realm of realism.
Yeah.
I love when my media I consume has nothing to do with anything realistic. Like, I've played the 2K games, like basketball games. Are they fun? Yeah. Would I much rather play God of War?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Returnal, or something that is just fantastical or fantasy based, because I'm looking for something outside of what I could ever comprehend
In
or
real life.
experience in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it feels with, again, Dragon Ball. We all want to be Super Saiyans, or Star Wars.
I've been trying my whole life, still not there yet.
Yeah. Yeah. We all pretended to do a Kamehameha in our rooms. Like that was part of childhood.
Yeah, walking around trying to instant transmission everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Been there, done that. But yeah, so I figured Dragon Ball event was just yesterday. Chat about that for just a little bit. But let's get into some of the questions that we kind of have ironed out as it relates to the console wars. So with that being said, which generation of the console wars did you experience first? Whether it was OG Nintendo and Sega, or PS2, Xbox, GameCube, like which era was kind of your first intro to the console wars?
I want to say PS2, because we had a PlayStation 1, but I wasn't really old enough to kind of understand the whole dynamic there, and my exposure was very limited. PlayStation 2 and Xbox was really where I kind of broke into it. And then the PS3 and 360, that was when I was old enough to understand the whole dynamic of the console wars, of like, oh, okay, I understand what they mean by console wars, and like why there is a console war. Like, oh, they might have the better games, but like 360 and their party chat system was a million times better than PlayStation. It was terrible.
Light years ahead. Light years ahead.
I had a PlayStation 3 first and then got an Xbox 360, and I was like, why isn't PlayStation doing this? Your party system is terrible. And yet Xbox, they have this just beautifully curated. It's easy to join in and out. It was amazing. So I understood, oh, you want to play with friends, you get an Xbox. You want to play like
100%.
Depending on who you ask, you want to play like better games or like single player narrative games. Cool, you get a PlayStation. But friends, boom, Xbox. That's the definite way to go.
Oh man, and that's what, those were the pinnacle years when I worked at GameStop. And that's what, if a parent came in, they're like, look, my kid wants a console. We don't really know what to get. It's like, well, do they play a lot with their friends and things like that? Well, no, they go in the room and they shut the door. I don't know what they're playing. Okay, get a PlayStation. You know, oh, yeah, they play with their friends all the time. Okay, get an Xbox. Like, that was kind of the staple statement for that generation, without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, it had to be, and frankly, I would argue it's probably still kind of that way. I mean, PlayStation's UI when it comes to online is still not it's much better. It's 1,000 times better than it was, but it's definitely not Xbox level.
Yeah, their party system, it's kind of negated now that both systems have Discord integration.
True.
Which, oh my God, what a win.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful addition. But yeah, even now, like I've got a PS5, 2 feet from me. And even now, like the party system, when I see it compared to Xbox, like y'all are still behind. I know it doesn't matter so much at this point, but you're still lagging behind.
And I feel, actually, because you brought up the Discord integration, I feel that as soon as they got that, it's like, okay, we don't need to do anything now. We've got, and frankly, they don't have, I don't play multiplayer much. The only thing I've been playing multiplayer at all has been Arc Raiders, and every time I play, we get in Discord. So I mean, it doesn't even matter anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? I will say Sony, they haven't released as many, but when it comes to what they're prioritizing, it's their games, and they knock it out of the park. They really
consistent.
They really do. Yeah. With their releases, you can have your, Spider-Man 2, I know a lot of people like to clown on it. Was it a little shorter than I would have liked? Sure. Is it still a great game? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Returnal, Ratchet and Clank. They've got Wolverine coming out. They've got the Final Fantasies, time-gated.
With their time exclusivity, yeah.
Yeah, Last of Us. Like, they just know how to put out good games.
Oh, without a doubt. Anytime something comes out that's Sony exclusive, like, it's going to be a banger. And yeah, the hate for Spider-Man was so forced. Like, I mean, I was very salty they didn't do DLCs for it like they did for Spider-Man 1, and they just kind of like, left it. That I was a little salty there, but I loved
It
it.
was surprising. Like, it was really surprising they didn't do DLC.
Yeah,
Because
they
the
had so
DLCs
many
for the first
doors
were
open
good.
too.
Yeah. The first, was it the first or the second? The Black Cat DLC for Spider-Man 1 was incredible.
Yep.
And I was really surprised that they didn't do DLC for the second Spider-Man. But again, Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yote.
Oh, man.
Like, I see the online discourse and people are, oh, Sony pays because they always get nominated. It's like, no, they put out amazing games.
Yep. I mean, and I know
Death
Stranding is not Sony, but I mean, right now, it's exclusive on PS5. It'll obviously hit PC and Xbox later, but that's another one. I mean, and it's Kojima. I mean, I literally worship the man, so he'll never put out a bad game in my eyes. So,
yeah, he's one of those. It's like a professor when you take a class, and you can see their brain running at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Like, dude, what are you thinking? And you just know whatever they're going to say or put out is going to be incredible, but are you going to understand it all? No.
Nope.
But is it going to be beautiful? Yeah.
That reminds me of the video I saw of Norman Reedus talking about time with Kojima, and he's like, yeah, I don't really understand most of the time. And he's like, oh, and you cry, and look, a whale. And I'm like, okay, I trust you, I mean, I imagine that's probably about what it's like. So, all right, so PS3 360 era was your first introduction or understanding of the console wars, but I feel that I'd be remiss to not talk about what I feel is like the peak era of nostalgic gaming and the console wars, like the PS2, Xbox, GameCube era. And even if at the time you probably didn't understand or anything, I'm assuming.
GameCube.
Yeah, see, it's one to forget. So,
oh yeah,
if you think about that PS2, Xbox, GameCube era, what would you say was your favorite console of those three, and why?
Man, as much as I want to say PS2 because Ratchet and Clank is like the most near and dear franchise to my heart. Like, those have always, when I think about like, oh, some of my favorite games or something I could always go back to, it's Ratchet and Clank. I'd probably say GameCube, honestly.
Okay.
Because Super Smash Bros. And Mario Kart.
Yep.
My whole family, we played those like every weekend. And then there was a game called Battalion Wars on GameCube.
Oh yeah, I can see the case in my head for some reason. Yeah.
And you had an army and you'd station your artillery and your tanks, and then as you battled, you could press a button and flip between units in third person. And you'd have to like take control of artillery launch and then hit a button and flip between a soldier, take out a few, and if he died, then it would jump you to another soldier. And that game, I remember putting countless hours into it. And the GameCube itself, Metal Gear Solid, I played Metal Gear Solid, yes, on GameCube, and I fought Psycho Mantis. And when he's like, oh, blah, 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 he's reading my memory card, I flipped out. I was like, oh my God, Dad. Like, I went to my dad, why can he tell what's on my memory card? He's like, oh, you got to switch the, the plug for the controller so he can't read your memory card. It was insanely fun.
Well, and the funny thing about that on GameCube is on PS1, you just had to change it to player 2, and then you could finish the fight. If I remember on GameCube, it actually made you switch like to player 2, and then he started mimicking, so you had to switch to 3, and he did, and you had to switch to 4. So they really made you work for it on GameCube.
Yeah, it just depending on how long it took you.
Yeah, exactly.
It just,
man.
Yeah, so I'd probably say GameCube. And it was a sturdy, like, it was a well-built system. Oh, my God. That was a weapon. Somebody broke in.
It had a handle? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like they kind of planned for that with it having a handle, and I think it's hysterical how Nintendo loves their proprietary tech. No other console did those many discs. Just GameCube. That was it, so that it couldn't, to anti-piracy or whatever their mechanism was. But yeah, the GameCube, I mean, I always forget about the GameCube, too, whenever I think about that era, because I was primarily a Sony guy, PS2, but I did play the crap out of stuff on the GameCube, and technically the only reason I bought one was for the Twin Snakes, to be honest, because Metal Gear's my jam.
Yeah. I remember enjoying it more. I recently played Metal Gear Solid Delta, the 3 remake.
Yeah.
I gave it 6 hours, and I wasn't enjoying it like I expected to. And I sat down and I really thought, I'm like, why am I not enjoying this Like, it looks beautiful. I like the creativity of the fights. How you got to do certain stuff, like, oh, you're fighting. I forget his name. Like the first boss where you got to hit the bee's nest
Right.
and drop them on him and
The
whatnot.
Fury, I think.
Yeah, and I love just the creativity behind all the encounters. And I came to realize, oh, it's just the fact that when it comes to games, I don't want to strictly be locked. Those are built behind like 90% stealth.
Yeah.
You can go in guns a-blazing, but it is heavily incentivized to go stealthy. And like even Assassin's Creed, I'll go like 20% stealth and 80% just come at me.
I'm the same
and I
way.
love that.
Yep.
Yeah, so
and even though now, did you play the original Snake Eater, or was Delta your first? Okay,
that was my first entry.
See, and I will say, as a diehard, lifelong Metal Gear fan, it is a hot take that 3 is not my favorite. Like, most people say Snake Eater's the best one. That's why they did Delta, because it was like the most popular. It is my least favorite because I feel 1 and 2, you could get away with not leaning into stealth. 3 really forced it on you, like, really. And I play the same way you just described. Like, I would rather not do that, even in a Metal Gear game.
I'm kind of curious if they'll remake Guns of the Patriots, because I would try that one, because
that's my favorite. That one's my favorite of the whole series.
The cinematic where he gets up against the watermelons and his armor changes to the like, I don't know why, but that blew my little kid brain. I'm like, what? So I would definitely replay that just to give it another chance. Say, you know what? I have fond memories.
Yep.
Let's do it.
No, that's the one. I mean, I want a full-blown remake of it for sure, but I hope that they do a volume 2, because right now the only way to play 4 is on the PS3. That's it, natively. There's no other way to play it. I hope they do a volume 2 that has Peace Walker 4 and, I mean, I guess 5 on it, but I want to play 4, like, again, like, very, very much.
That'd be great.
So let's jump to the era that we talked about first, though. So the PS3, the 360 era. So when you think about that time frame, so we got GameCube choice for the first one, but for the 360, PS3, I guess Wii era, what would your console choice be there, and why?
Definitely PS3. I had both eventually, but it was PS3 first, because, again, Ratchet and Clank, there were so many. There was Tools of Destruction. A Crack in Time is tied for my favorite game of all time.
Really?
It's between that, Ratchet and Clank, A Crack in Time, and the newly released Expedition 33, because that game,
chef's kiss on Expedition.
Yep.
I didn't know anything about the game and then played it, and I'm still thinking about it a year later.
Yeah. Yep. It's yeah. Anyway, that's a whole episode in itself.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, the PlayStation, I really don't know why. I think it was more so at the time that I was able to pick up a console, it had the games that I had rather played. And I believe the first Last of Us came out on PS3 as well.
It sure did.
Yep. So Last of Us 1, Zombies. I've always been a huge fan of zombies. Like Call of Duties, I only ever bought because of
the zombies.
Yes. And so, again, there was that. There was Ratchet and Clank, which there were, I think, 3 released on that console, maybe 4, including some DLC side games. And we
I think we got 3 Uncharted's also on PS3.
Yeah, outside of the PS Vita demo for whichever Uncharted was on that, I haven't played a single Uncharted ever. But I've played all of the Tomb Raiders, which I know Uncharted is basically just
a male Tomb Raider
adjacent. Yeah. It's just Tomb Raider, but with a different protagonist.
Man, you need to play Uncharted, without a doubt, especially if you enjoyed the Tomb Raiders, which I'm replaying the Survivor series now. But Tomb Raider or Uncharted, all of them are amazing. 2 and 4 are the absolute best, but they're quick experiences. I mean, you can beat each one in about 12 or 13 hours probably.
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
No. I mean, now if you notoriously try and find and get everything, that's a little different. But if you're just roped into the story, it's not open or anything, so it's pretty linear like the Tomb Raiders were. Man, yeah, you got to try those. Those are good. Those are very
Yeah.
good.
I'll probably hop into one. I know I had some at some point. I think, you know what? I think I have some in my PlayStation library, like from the PlayStation
I was going to
Plus.
say they're all on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, because
So,
I've had PlayStation Plus for God since they started it, and they started giving out the free games, so it's probably in there. But yeah, the PS3, because I know my brother had an Xbox, but then when that generation came out, he got a PS3, so that was a lot of my exposure.
Gotcha. Okay. That
And
checks
then
out.
the Xbox 360 exposure first was Gears of War. And,
Okay.
oh my God, what a that was definitely a good like first experience to Xbox was Gears of War. Ooh, my God.
Yeah, we got a bunch of shit from Austin's brother about Gears of War when we talked on this actually on our episode 2. We didn't talk about Gears of War that much. We were talking like about Halo and stuff. He got very upset because Gears is like his favorite. I liked Gears, don't get me wrong. It's just, I was so much of a Halo person that and I was really bad at Gears too, like really bad at it.
It's tough. Like, especially when you get to the end, you try to fight Rom on like a higher difficulty. Oh my God, it's tough.
And it still is.
Like,
I got reloaded
yeah.
when it launched on PS5, and it's still tough. I struggled to get through. I got through it, but I struggled.
Yeah. It's obnoxiously hard, which is crazy to think about because we have games like, Dark Souls and Elden Ring and Sekiro and whatnot that feel like different universes in terms of difficulty.
I mean, they have. I don't know about you. I had never heard Souls-like, maybe except for like the last 7 or 8 years. Like they created their own genre because of difficulty.
Yeah, I Bloodborne. I hopped in for a couple hours. I was like, not for me. Then Elden Ring came out. It was open world, and that kind of, as I started playing that, still wasn't my thing. They announced the DLC, and I went, okay, that looks awesome. Let me jump back in. And I had misleveled my character. I don't know why, because I play D&D. I understand how it works. I used magic, but I was leveling up strength because I was also using a sword. And I went, you know what? Let me create a new character, level him correctly, and just blew through Elden Ring in, I think it was like a week.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 2 weeks.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then played the DLC, loved it, and then went back to Bloodborne, played Sekiro. Still haven't beaten Sekiro, and now like I love Souls-likes, but
I struggle.
They really did. It's, I think, at least for me, if you're used to your Ninja Gaidens, your button mashers, and for me, I don't like wasting time. I want to get through a fight quick because I want to go on to the next. I like progressing. So having to like take my time and memorize moves and almost play chess with the enemy, I'm like, oh, just let me get in there and whoop your ass. Like,
yeah, that's and I'm not even gonna call it a Souls-like, but the only thing that has been compared to a Souls-like that I have played and loved and enjoyed was Expedition and the parrying system and all of that. I say that to say though, I still haven't beaten Simon because that's just insane. But
neither have I.
That's the closest. I've got a build ready for it, but I can't get past the second phase. So, but it's just too tough for me. I like to keep going and not spend 45 minutes on one boss.
Exactly. It's just one of those things, people will say like, oh, just learn them. I spent, 40 hours on this one boss. I value my time too much. Yeah. I don't care enough to do that. Hey, if there's a difficulty setting, bam, easy, let's go. On to the next.
Drop it all the way down every time.
Yep. It's listen, I want to move on to the next boss or the next game. I'm not sitting here playing the same boss for a week. Can't do it.
Exactly. So in thinking of the PS3 360 era and everything, so Ratchet's obviously, from how you've said, is probably your favorite from that, is what it sounds like. What would you say, though, is the most impactful game that still kind of resonates with folks to this day from that generation?
I think there's two, but for very different reasons.
Okay.
I think the original Modern Warfare 2.
Yep.
Not just for shooters, but See, I think the impact of the original Modern Warfare 2 is less built around substance of the game and more so around the nostalgia of how it felt to play with your friends while you were in school or younger and you didn't have any responsibilities. And people are hoping to find that feeling again when you really can't as an adult. Like that
Exactly.
feeling's
Yep.
gone. You'll never be a kid again. So you're not going to feel that same way. And then on the flip side, I think Infamous, regardless of
Man,
how exact people, we
I
love superhero
forget
games.
about Infamous all the time.
They're great, and they're the superhero game, kinda. It's
You're
like it
right.
was a little bit edgier, and people want anytime. What's another game? From a lost IP, or you wish they'd introduce? It's Prototype and Infamous. That's another one. Prototype. My God.
I
Ooh,
loved both of those games so much. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. I always and wasn't Infamous Sucker Punch who does Ghost of
Yeah.
Tsushima and Ghost of Yote? Oh man. Yeah, they need to
Yep.
we've got 2 Ghost games. Let's leave those behind and let's get a remake or a sequel to Infamous at this point.
They could absolutely do it because those games were great. Again, people love feeling powerful. They love feeling super powered. The last Infamous, Second Son, was
Yeah.
that the last one? I mean, by the end of the game, you were damn near a god. Like you had, 4 or 5 elements you could manipulate. Then the DLC was great. So they know what they're doing.
Well, and I do feel like that really, I mean, I think in general, my brain always goes to Fable when I think about the decision based games where you can be good, you can be evil. But I think Infamous built on that with because you had the red lightning or the blue lightning based on the things that you did. And then the aspect of its open world, you can still see in things today, like with Spider Man, like we were talking about with Spider Man, or what I'm thinking we may see with Wolverine unless they go linear with it. But so many open world traversal games, like when you think about that, I mean, Infamous and Prototype both kind of introduced that, I would say.
Yeah, you've got, Prototype, you're just bouncing around the city. Infamous, you're, grinding on like power lines and whatnot going around. My head also goes to Last of Us,
Oh yeah.
specifically for a game that delivers great gameplay as well as a great narrative. Because playing The Last of Us, and especially The Last of Us 2, there are some games where the gameplay is kind of like a second thought and you want to get through it to get to the story.
Right.
Last of Us has great gameplay and you want to get through it to see how the story progresses. So there isn't a trade-off. I remember playing the first Last of Us and like my dad coming in and being like, wow, this looks incredible.
It's like watching a
And
movie. My mom's always walked in and said that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And playing it, like feeling that level of anxiety and that tense of like moving around a counter when there's a clicker 3 feet from you. And then like, oh my God, is this a checkpoint? Oh, am I going to find a brick to throw at it? It's just, I feel like Last of Us, you can really see it in a lot of games moving forward, like the remakes of God of War 2018 and Ragnarok. They're that same thing.
Yeah,
The
I was
gameplay is
gonna, I
immaculate.
was just gonna say that I'm replaying 2018 after the casting announcements, and I was gonna say the same thing. The gameplay and the story both are just perfect.
Yeah, I feel like Last of Us 1 really kicked off showing that you don't have to have that trade-off.
Yeah,
It isn't one or the other.
no, that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Now the question is, with our earlier discussion, so do you play The Last of Us stealthy or or not?
Oh. The zombie portions I play stealthy. Because I'm always terrified. Like, you know what? I've got a full magazine of like shotgun shells. I'm fine. But I'm always worried if I step up and take out this one, 8 more are going to like come through the wall at me. So I'm like, nope. If there's humans, easy. I'll go loud.
Guns blazing.
But
yeah.
yeah, when there's zombies, I am so careful. Like I'll take 20 minutes for like a 5-minute encounter just to creep around.
Yep. No, that's probably the only exception for everything that because even the old Resident Evils, like I still guns blazing. No, Last of Us, that is the game that made me play stealthy like 100%.
Yeah, I think they just did something really unique with the way they did the zombies and like the clickers, and it didn't just feel like Resident Evil where
Right.
okay, there's zombies here, let me breeze past them, I can walk past them because I know their hit animations. Like, no, you're terrified because these ones, if you make any noise, they'll hop on you and they're a one-hit kill, and then you have your normal ones that'll like gang up on you. It did something different with that level of terror.
Oh yeah. Well, when you factor in the shivs and they weren't readily available because of crafting, and yeah, that without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, and I loved both the first one and the second one. I mean they were both
Oh,
amazing. Even though that's another overhated game, I'd say is part 2, but it was just as phenomenal.
I think people don't realize the fact that Last of Us 2 makes you upset over a narrative choice. The company, made you care about a fake character that is succeeding. They made you care about a drawn, thought up character who doesn't really exist. They're winning. They're doing it right. They made you care about someone who doesn't exist.
Yep, exactly.
That's success.
100%.
Yeah, oh God, what a great game. Whew.
Yeah. So that I'm with you on Call of Duty without a shadow of a doubt. And people are definitely chasing that. Hell, I'm chasing it. You know, that nostalgic feeling. And then yeah, I always forget about Infamous. Infamous is a great pick. The Last of Us is definitely iconic, even to now. I mean, heck, they got a TV show now. You know.
Yeah.
So if you had to put yourself into a bucket, I hate to ask people to force themselves, but if you had to put yourself in a bucket as a Sony person, a Microsoft person, or a Nintendo person, which one would you say that you landed in? I think I probably have an idea, but
yeah, definitely a Sony person.
It sounded like it. Sounded like it.
Yeah, they have. I've played. Listen, I've got Game Pass on my PC. I love a lot of what Microsoft puts out. They're just. I don't know if I can think of a single game that Microsoft has ever put out that measures up to the highs of Sony.
Yep.
And they do a lot of, multiplayer games well. And they do a lot of games that people, even their heavy hitters, Skyrim. Like, and I know that's not explicit, or that's not exclusively
right. Well, it's in their umbrella
yeah, it's
now.
Bethesda.
Yeah.
Right. I find those games lacking specifically because I play games for the combat. And Bethesda combat is so lackluster. Yeah. And so it was so easy to just pivot and play these Sony games where, oh my God. Again, the Ghost of Tsushima and Yote. I don't know how they get better after Yote.
Agreed.
I'm not done with it, but they have to end the franchise there because I don't see how they're going to improve it. It is so good.
Yeah, I feel Ghost is one of those, and people are going to criticize if they don't elevate somehow, if they do another game. People are going to be salty. Heck, they were kind of salty saying they didn't elevate enough, which is stupid. Those are the hot takes that people don't know what they're talking about. I feel they have done enough with Ghost. Tsushima and Yote are amazing. I truly think that they need to revisit Infamous. That's what they need to do. I mean, because they take what they've learned and what they've done with Yote, what made Infamous amazing, and modernize that, whether it's a remake or a brand new one. That's what Sucker Punch needs to do.
Like, do an Infamous. We need, they need to drop another prototype. Insomniac, I'm hoping, drops another Ratchet and Clank within the next 3 years because I'll play those until I die.
Hey,
every single one, they're
games.
always great. This game, the last game, you were able to turn people into goats. Well, this one you can fuse them together and they become some like amalgamation monster with 1 HP. Like, I love those games so much. And again, I think it just speaks to,
because the last one came out, it was almost a launch title, right? So it was back in like 2020. So we haven't had one for a while. Yeah.
Exactly. We're 6 years in. Like, listen, it's a great game. It still holds up, but we need another one.
Man, agreed.
I think it's just, again, every Game Awards, there's a Sony title, or almost every Game Awards. And I think it just speaks to the quality. Like, listen, and I know people hate that, why are critics' opinions, measured over everyday users and players?
Right.
And I think people forget games are expensive. Most people will not play all of the nominees. Most people will not play. I mean, the Steam average for games per year is 4.
That's
And
insane.
and I think last year I played 95. Like, there's a reason these critics get a vote over you or me. It's because they play a lot of, it's their job. So they're going to have more experience. They're going to have a better insight because they've played more. They've experienced more. Now, their preference is obviously going to differ.
Right.
But
that's true. Yeah.
they have a larger pool to pull from.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. Like when the Game Awards stuff this last year, like I hadn't played the majority of them myself, you know. But I mean, I still very much was choosing Expedition without a doubt. But yeah, I think the frustration probably also comes with is the fact that we vote. Like they have the website where you go and vote for these things, but then ultimately the only one that actually is the person voting is the voter's choice. So I think that's also where some people get salty. It's like, why are we even voting if it's critics? But I don't know. I like the fun of it. They give you your little card and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's cool to go through.
Yeah,
and I have a good time with it. Plus, I love watching. Again, that's another one. I love watching the Game Awards, seeing all the trailers and.
Dude, the hype, great, man. I remember watching the very first one when it was on Spike TV back in, I can't even remember what year it was now, but I've been hyped about watching those every single year. And I love that they do, I think it's the Game Awards that does the summer game showcase or something or another. I think it's the same. It's Jeff
Summer
Keighley
Games
and all
Fest.
them. Yeah, Summer Games Fest. Yeah. Yeah, I love that stuff. Good Lord.
Yeah. It's
man.
fantastic.
So, all right. So, our kind of first generation was really PS3, 360, that kind of era. But we did talk PS2, Xbox, GameCube. You went with the GameCube, which is outstanding because you have Mario Kart, and I'm glad that you got to enjoy the Twin Snakes as well because that's the whole reason I got a GameCube. PS3 for that era was our pick, which makes sense, being that Ratchet is definitely your big game, it sounds like. And our impactful games, Modern Warfare 2, Last of Us, and Infamous. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because now I feel like I need to go download it to replay it again. And putting yourself in a Sony bucket like myself, so I can always appreciate a fellow Sony fanboy. But all of that aside, and outside of the console wars and all of that, I'm going to ask you the same question I kind of closed things out with the first episode we did this. What is your most anticipated game of 2026?
This is tough.
Aside from GTA, if that happens to be, you're hyped for it, you can. Okay.
No. Listen, I know it'll be good, but again, I'm looking for something outside of somewhat realism.
Right.
It'll be more GTA. Pass. Like I'll play it, but that's not even cracking the top 10.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know if it has a release date in 2026. They showed off, I believe, at the Game Awards, Bradley the Badger.
Okay.
Which it gave me almost like Astrobot vibes, which I loved Astrobot.
Ooh. Ditto. I've done everything in Astrobot. Everything.
Me too. Yep. Oh, you know what? I haven't done the newest stuff yet, but I platinumed it on release.
Ditto.
Most fun platinum I've ever done.
Man.
If one of the new Star Wars games, like I know Fate of the Old Republic is a long way off. If they shadow drop Knights of the Old Republic, one of those, Phantom Blade Zero, the more I see it, oh my God. That one looks incredible. I feel like I'm missing one.
A Sony game.
Oh, you know what? Crimson Desert.
Oh, yeah.
People keep saying, like, oh, what about the story? Listen, if the gameplay is good, the story could be like garbage, and I'm still going to enjoy it because there's so much there. And, Fable. That's right. They said...
They did say 2026 for Fable.
Yep. Fable. This will be my first Fable. So I did like an hour of an old Fable when I was younger. Didn't really get into it. But this one looks incredible.
Dude, the everything I've been hearing about it, like the full openness, the fact of every NPC being individualized, like the choices, how they're not just very black and white, like it's dictated by the people. They're it's insane. And I can't
I'm
even say it's an
excited.
Xbox exclusive because it's not anymore, but
Yep.
that's going to be
Uh,
an insane one.
I'm excited to see how deep that goes. Like they mentioned, you can buy up all the houses and be like a, rich landlord. I'm curious, like, okay, if I were to do that, given enough time, would an NPC be able to live its life, save up money, and then try to come buy a house from me? Like,
That's
how
what
deep
I'm
does the NPC life go?
That's what I'm curious of. And this whole concept of you start out as a child and you grow up and go on an adventure and blah, blah, blah. What it reminds me of, and this is kind of a really stupid comparison, but like Harvest Moon games and Stardew Valley and all that stuff where you have a baby and the baby does grow, but all those games are different where eventually the kid just stops and then the game just keeps cycling. So I'm curious if Fable, like, is it going to be endless or is it
Oh,
going to be like, and that's the thing, you can have kids, like, are your kids going to grow, are you going to grow old and die, is it going to get to a point where it's like typical open world games where you finish it and then you just do whatever you want. I am curious
that
how they
would be
address that.
so cool. If you could die and then like leave your assets to your kids, or if you could die and then there's like a rebellion to take everything back and you have to deal. Oh man, that would be
Well,
so cool.
and the thing is, and I hope you've played it, I'm not throwing a spoiler at you or anything, but the only time I've seen that kind of mechanism where you've played as a character for the whole game and then the character's gone and you play as their kid was in Red Dead Redemption. And
No.
that methodology, like the idea of applying that, like I feel like Starfield did a very unique thing with New Game Plus where you came back into the world and it was the same game but it was different kind of thing. I feel Fable could implement a New Game Plus method where your New Game Plus is you playing as your kid. Like you die
That could be
and then New
cool.
Game Plus is you playing as your kid, and as your kid is growing up, you have to update their skill. Or, I don't know. Who knows? We'll
Yeah.
have to see what they do.
Like
But
like your last character taught your kid some skills, so they start off as the new game plus mechanic. You already have some skills built
yep.
in. That
Or
could be very cool.
and it could go a step further to say that it looks at your skills and then also the skills of whoever you married, so that your skills are calibrated based on that or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be very cool. Man, this year is gonna be crazy. I
Dude,
can't wait.
it honestly, up until the Fable announcement, my most anticipated was Wolverine. Like that's what I have said each time. I
Damn, I didn't even. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, but honestly, Fable I think is probably surpassed it. I mean, I will play and will love Wolverine and will probably platinum it, but Fable I feel is gonna do something.
Yeah, I was feeling that same way. Like I was thinking about it today. And if it delivers on everything it's promising, I feel like I'm going to buy it multiple times. I'm going to spend an ungodly amount of hours in it I'm going to buy up every business and own the entire town or something
Well,
like
you
that.
gotta play one like inherently good and then one inherently
Yeah.
bad. Like you have to do it that way. Like that's just an expectation.
Yeah. And man, it's going to be a great year. I
26,
can't wait.
25 was an amazing year, and hell, I think 26 may top it. I guess we'll have to wait
Oh
and
yeah.
see. But I mean, we've been eating good. We've been eating good the
Yeah.
last little bit.
I can't imagine how people are, oh, this gaming's dead. It's like, no, you just don't play anything.
Yeah, exactly. You
That's
only
the
you only
issue.
play COD and 2K. That's it. So that's why
Yeah.
you think gaming is dead.
Yeah. It's like branch out just a little at all. Like PlayStation Plus, you get 2 free games a month. Maybe go play one.
Not to mention the library of all their
Mm-hmm.
exclusives and everything else. So it's insane.
Yeah.
Morgan, my man, thank you for hanging out with
Yeah.
us. I think that gets through
Yeah.
all the
Thanks for having me.
questions that I had. We talked through, like I said, we went through the PS2 era, we went to the PS3 360 era, talked about some impactful games, and I'm so glad that you reminded me of Infamous because now I need to download it. And then, I feel like it's always going to be necessary to ask about anticipated games, especially because it changes. Because we didn't know about Fable a few weeks ago. Like I said Wolverine, and now Fable's kind of up there.
Yep.
But, you know, we did started this whole point five thing as a way to get some video content out and collaborate with other folks. And I've been consuming your content and enjoying the hell out of it. So I was really excited whenever you said, heck yeah, let's do this. With all that being said, though, I do want to hand it to you to let everybody know where they can find you and follow and subscribe and all of the things as it relates to the social media game, as you will.
Julio, yeah, like I said, I appreciate you having me. This was a blast. I'm always down to talk about games. I feel like especially as we get older. I think it's dying down a little bit now, but there was a very large expectation socially as when you grow up, the things you used to like as a kid don't matter anymore. You don't get to do those. And I'm so happy to see that is going away. Like, no, you got to take care of yourself. You got to do what you enjoy to stay young. You got to feel young and do what makes you happy. So yeah, anytime. This is great.
Well, and that's the thing. You know, we have a lot of episodes behind us. So now that we've done this once, I'm gonna have you on like a speed dial and be like, "Hey man, we're gonna do another 0.5 on this episode. You want to chat?"
Yeah, I'm always down to clown, happily. Yeah, anywhere, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Although Facebook is more so just like an extension of Instagram. I just started that one, but mostly YouTube and TikTok and Twitch occasionally. But it's all the same. The Gaming Caffe as you see it on the screen. Yeah, just, you know, I'm not genre specific. If there's a game coming out and it's fun, I'll play it. Or just I like to proc a lot of community interactions. Like, hey, tell me about your favorite this, or why do you feel like the High Guard comes out tomorrow and everyone and their mother is, oh my god, where are they at? I'm like, how about we wait till it's out and you just play it?
Exactly. It's a free game. Give it a shot, you know. And yep. I will say, I think I mentioned when we were chatting, a lot of the indie games I've been playing here lately have come via your recommendations. So I'm definitely digging it.
Yeah, try indie games, folks. I mean, they're cheaper, and I don't mean cheaper in quality. I mean cheaper, friendly to your wallet.
Yes, they're are.
You know, $8, $10, $15, and the one I'm playing right now, I've got 20-ish hours in, and it was $17. Like there's so many games out there. Just try them. Scroll down Steam or PlayStation or wherever you're at, and try and find some indie games. There's some great ones out there.
Yep. And like you said, as we've gotten older, we've got more responsibilities. We got to spend money on other things. So things that are easier on our wallet to enjoy is always a good thing, like without a shadow of doubt.
Yep. A $70 game that sucks hurts.
Oh.
A $7 game that sucks, that's fine.
No big deal. It's all good, right?
Yeah. That's easier to deal with.
But yeah, well, man, I've had a great time. It's always good to chat with people and kind of realize to a degree that even though people grow up in different places and overall have different experiences, there is an insane amount of similarities because of gaming and other interests. Like we started off talking about Dragon Ball and all of that. I mean, it's so cool. Like I do this podcast with my buddy Austin, but we've known each other for years. We grew up together and worked together. But the idea that we can have the same conversation with folks that, I mean, heck, we just met face-to-face about an hour ago, and here we are just chatting it up. So, but as we kind of close out, I know I've been seeing you with a drink. I've got a little beverage here too, so I'm gonna toast you to a good evening, and thank you very much for hanging out with us. And for everybody who's been watching and or listening, depending on where you're consuming this, thank you as always, and remember that some memories are worth lining up for.